So I saw a video the other day from Penguin Zero. I've been a big fan of Charlie for the past year or two. He's very humble, genuine, down to earth, funny, and more importantly, the man has tremendous biceps. I mean, all those other things are pretty good, but like, biceps. And his video was about pointing out the worst, most recent trend in gym videos. A lot of these videos have been circling on TikTok. And by circling, I mean circling the drain, because, TikTok is the toilet bowl of the internet. And so basically these videos are typically a young woman filming herself in the gym, and then there's a guy in the background who she is saying is a creep or is staring at her or is acting inappropriately. But in a lot of these videos, the guy is not being a creep. A guy is just being a normal guy, maybe not even paying attention to her and just looking around. And if you look in her general direction, well, now she's going to put you up on TikTok and basically try to cancel you. And as a fitness content creator, I get it. You have to get footage for your job to show an exercise, right? You can't run a YouTube fitness channel without actually having footage of exercising. But you should realize that other people are not inconveniencing you. You are inconveniencing other people. And so when I film, I try to get as few people in the shot as possible. And so if you're a content creator and you're like, oh, people walking in front of my camera, they have every right to do that. Now, if they're walking out of their way to go in front of your camera, okay, kind of a dick move. But if you're setting up your camera in a place where people would normally walk, they have every right to do that. And they should not feel bad about doing that. You should feel bad about making them feel bad that your camera is in the way. And I've deleted one video. Out of the hundreds I posted, I've deleted one. And this is one video where I was filming myself, and then there was a guy in the background doing biceps curls, except like extremely cheated. I mean, cheated to the point where it was not productive at all and probably dangerous. And so I made a video about how not to do curls, and I included his footage in the background. And a few of the comments were like, yeah, this is not what we expected. This is not really right to do. And the comments kind of got to me. Now, usually, haters or trolls or something like that, it doesn't get to me because I know I'm doing the right thing, but these ones did. These comments did get to me a little bit, and it's because I was doing the wrong thing. And so I deleted the video. And so that situation was like, I'm already filming myself, and I'm looking at the footage later, and I'm seeing this guy who's doing these terrible curls. Oh, it's a video of what not to do. Let's highlight this so no one else does this. But nowadays you have people going out of their way to try to film someone else. Like, oh, I'm filming myself, but let's position myself to try to get this other person in the shot who's not actually doing anything wrong, but maybe I can make it seem like they're doing something wrong in order to play the victim and get sympathy, attention, clout, etc. Now, at least in this case, there's video evidence. So we can see this guy, he's not being a creep. He's just being normal. He even came over and offered to help her, and not in a creepy way, just like in a normal way because she seemed to be struggling with something, right? And so this guy was doing absolutely nothing wrong. But what if there was no video footage? What if she just claimed, oh, this guy's being a creep? I felt threatened. Well, if you feel threatened, but there's nothing threatening, is that their fault or your fault? Now, luckily, everyone can see this girl is full of it, and so she's getting, torn up on social media. I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I don't think she should be canceled. But like if it happened, I think there's a good case for everyone, both men and women, for being concerned about this type of trend. Men just won't want to interact with women anymore. There's one comment here, bro, I'm autistic and stare at people all the time. I just glance from person to person to make sure I know how I'm supposed to be acting. This is genuinely scary that I could be called a creep for that. Yeah, not everyone is as socially savvy, and some people might seem a little bit off, or they don't have maybe the normal social flow, and so they could easily be called out on social media when they're not actually doing anything wrong. Another comment, as someone who suffers from ADHD, autism, and social anxiety, this shit is a nightmare for someone like me. And here's a gem. I even heard about a blind guy that was accused of staring at a gym. After he told her and one of the staff members that he wasn't staring because he was blind, they were still outraged. And I think that says a lot. It's not about what the other person is doing, it's about how you feel. Even if they have zero ill will or intentions, or even knowledge of where they're looking or what they might be looking at, that's irrelevant. I also find it funny how this girl's Instagram labels her as a public figure. Okay, so you're a public figure by your own admission, but when someone looks vaguely in your general direction, that's somehow unacceptable. She also apparently has, or maybe had, an OnlyFans, which I mean, that is just chef's kiss in terms of irony. Oh, don't sexualize me. You're doing a pretty good job of that yourself. Here's another comment. This also saddens me, and this is from a woman, by the way, because I know most people don't want to be interrupted during the workouts, but I really wouldn't mind someone just being friendly and having a normal conversation. Yeah, this kind of stuff is what makes a man think about just having a nice, friendly conversation with a woman, but suddenly it's not worth it. It's just not worth it anymore because that one woman in 100 is going to create a situation or blow things out of proportion, and suddenly, well, we're not incentivized to have a normal human interaction. So ladies, think about it. In one alternate universe where this kind of shit doesn't happen, your future potential husband, he comes up to you, you hit it off, you have a wonderful life together. In this world, maybe he would do that, but he thinks about this kind of situation and he's like, she seems great, but it's just not worth talking to her. And the third reason this is bad is that there are some real creeps out there. There are genuinely crazy people, creepy people, psychotic people, dangerous people. And this kind of boy who cried wolf situation, that is diminishing these actual situations. It's making people maybe take that less seriously. So should we have laws about looking at another person? Well, the UK actually has that. Staring. Intrusive staring of a sexual nature is sexual harassment and is not tolerated. Well, that's kind of vague. What is intrusive staring? Is it half a second? Is it 1 second? Is it 5 seconds? Is it 10 seconds? Are the police on the train, keeping a stopwatch on everyone? Where is that line? Intrusive staring of a sexual nature. Well, what makes a sexual stare? Is it a biting of the lip? Is it a flaring of the nostrils? Is it a deepening of the voice? You know you like it. And when I'm on the train, I'm often lost in thought. Not that kind of thought. But lost in my own thoughts. Nope. I'm married. I am thinking about various things and not really paying attention to where I'm looking. So I'm just sort of staring off into the distance. Maybe there's a person there, but I'm not looking at them. I'm just daydreaming or thinking. Is that illegal? Based on what the other person might feel? So they have these posters on the London Metro Underground. These posters cover a number of unwanted behaviors. Catcalling, exposing body parts, inappropriate touching, upskirting, cyberflashing, the sending of sexual images, etc. Those are all bad. Those are all wrong, unacceptable, 100% on board and agreed. And staring. Is staring really in the same category as those other things? Really? And here you go. In recent weeks, the staring posters have been put into the spotlight after a man was jailed for staring at a woman on a train and blocking her exit. He was found guilty of causing intentional harassment, alarm, or distress, and he was sentenced to 22 weeks in prison. People block my exit on the metro every time I get on the metro. People stare at me literally every single day of my life. I live in China. I look very unusual compared to the average person, and I get a lot of stares. Should that be illegal?
Now all of China knows you're here.
Perfect.
Now, if there was video footage of this and the guy's blocking her exit, looking at her, that kind of stuff, fair enough. But again, it's a fine line, and this is gonna progress until men are just although I guess this makes sense in some ways because London police have obviously solved all the other crimes. Definitely no violent crime in London, safest place in the world. And so now they're moving on to this kind of stuff as well as thought crime, right? Because there's no real crimes to solve, and so the next frontier is what people are thinking to themselves in their own heads. And so a lot of men are just going their own way. It's not worth interacting with women. And so I think increasingly girls like this girl in the gym, they're manufacturing this kind of situation. If it can't happen, if there's no creeps around, you make one up. And we're doing a lot as a society to promote the safety of women, which is good. But we shouldn't overlook the safety of men as well. And so if you are a content creator, try to be as unobtrusive as possible to other people. They have every right to be in the gym as you. They have every right to walk in front of your camera, especially if it is positioned in a way that is inconvenient to them. And I can't tell you how many times my camera has gotten knocked over. Dozens and dozens of times. Even sometimes when I know they saw it and they should have avoided it, but they didn't. Even then, I don't get pissed off, or I try not to get pissed off, because I am inconveniencing them, not the other way around. And ladies, stay alert to potential dangerous situations or actually creepy guys, but not so alert that you see danger where there is none, or you see someone being creepy when they're just vaguely looking in your general direction. Alright, that is all for this video. Sort of a different one. Check out my books if you're interested on optimizing your hypertrophy progress and getting those gains. And I will see you in the next video. Peace. Also, don't film in gym locker rooms. Shouldn't have to say that. Pretty obvious, right?